Hi folks, this yoga session today focuses mainly on the upper back and shoulders. Many of us, or I would say all of us, hold a lot of tension in the neck and the shoulders and the upper back. Anybody who practices yoga with me regularly will know that I place a lot of emphasis on being very kind to the body, just working up to the edge of your comfort zone, working gently into the edge of your comfort zone, persuading the body into the postures, and certainly not working against the body. We don't want to fight the body. So listen to your body and the sensations that arise, and enjoy your yoga practice with me today. I've got a couple of props today, so you might want to pause the video just for a second while you find a couple of these things. So you might be able to find a tie, steal one off your hubby or your son. That's going to be used later. If you haven't got a tie, then a really long scarf will do, but make sure it's not a stretchy scarf. It's got to be it's got to be a scarf that isn't stretchy, or else it won't work. And then also some cushions. There's some cushions. Try and get quite a few together. I've got a bolster like this. Some of you might have a foam roller that you've used with your physiotherapist. So that would do as well. Okay. So I think we should, without further ado, make a bit of a start. We're going to start by lying down in Shavasana pose. So we're allowing the legs to be a little bit apart. The arms are a little way away from the body, with the palms facing up towards the sky. If your lower back is a little bit tight, then at this stage you could bend your knees, place your feet wide, and just rest your knees together. That is quite a soothing and restorative posture for the lower back. So at this stage, all we want to do here is relax and surrender the full weight of the body down into the earth beneath. Just noticing how your body feels for you this morning. Scanning the body from the top of the head all the way down to the tips of your toes, aware of any places that might feel tight or tense, but equally noticing places that feel relaxed and soft as well, building up a picture of how things feel for you right now. Begin by tuning into your breathing. We're breathing in and out through the nose where that's possible for you, or breathe through your mouth if you have to. Softening your facial muscles. And when we begin to notice our breathing, notice also that it naturally begins to slow down all by itself. And we can lengthen each inhalation. We can extend each exhalation until our breathing becomes a little longer and smoother. And we want to be inviting a sense of unburdening, a sense of letting go. Allowing Mother Earth to hold us and support us here. Let's just start by drawing the knees towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug. Seeing as we can't hug each other so much at the moment. Hold around the tops of your shins, stick out your elbows and rock your body side to side. This allows the hard floor underneath you to massage the muscles either side of your spine, beginning a process of softening and tenderizing. And then coming back to center, place your feet down onto the floor, lengthen your legs away from your body. We're going to just work with the top 1/3 of the spine just to begin with. I want you to remember to go slowly. So all we're doing here is very slowly moving the head from side to side. Continuing to breathe. Relaxing the shoulders and the upper back. And then bringing the head back to center. We'll have the palms facing up towards the sky. Feel the skin on the back of your arms and the backs of your hands as it makes contact with the ground underneath you. We're going to take a few rounds of angel wings here, and we're going to move with the breath. So we'll be connecting the breath with the movement. So starting with your arms down by your sides, palms facing up towards the sky. And as we inhale next time, a big deep inhale as we take the arms up towards the back of the head, behind the back of the head. And as we exhale, taking the arms all the way back down. So we want to keep the backs of the arms and the backs of the hands connected with the floor beneath. And exhale. Inhale, reaching out behind. Keeping the backs of the arms connected with the ground. And we'll do that one last time. A really good opportunity to really deepen the breath. And then again, we're drawing the knees towards the chest. Let's change this around a bit now. So we'll hold loosely onto the kneecaps and take the knees around in circles. Just rotating the knees here. Take your awareness to your lower back and tailbone and just enjoy the sensation of gentle massage from the hard floor beneath. Let's take those rotations in the opposite direction. And then coming back to center. Keep your knees bending towards your chest. Take your arms down by your sides this time. I'm just going to move over a little bit because I want to make sure that I capture all of this on film for you. So the knees are in towards the chest, palms are facing down towards onto the floor. And again, we're going to move with the breath. So on the inhale, taking the arms up and overhead, extending the legs up towards the sky, flex the ankles. On the exhale, point the toes away, take the arms back down by your sides, bending the knees towards the chest. Inhale, flex those ankles, exhale. sure those legs are strong and straight. And remember to move with the breath. When we move and synchronize our movements with our breath, the breath acts as a bridge between the mind and the body. Let's take one more cycle of movement and breath, just like this. And then we'll bring the feet back down onto the floor. Extend the legs away from the body, coming back into your Shavasana pose here. Just allowing those sensations to arise in the body, following those few initial little warm-up exercises there. Then we're going to take one arm, the left arm, over the body so that the bicep is over the chest here. Take the other arm out to the side and just allow this arm, this top arm, to relax. You may want to intensify this stretch a little bit by just pressing your bicep towards your chest. Breathe in here. This feels quite nice. And then coming out of that posture, we'll do the same on the other side. So take the right arm over the body. It might be enough for you just to let this top arm soften and dangle here. Or again, you might want to intensify the stretch a little bit, gently drawing the bicep down towards your chest. Allowing a softening in the upper arm and shoulder. Big deep breaths. One more breath here. And then allowing the arms to relax and soften down towards the ground. So, then we're going to take the arms out into a cactus shape. Okay, so your arms are in a cactus shape, your body's nice and long. Your elbows are in line with your shoulders. Again, we're going to move with the breath. So let's inhale deeply. And on the exhale, just rotating through the shoulders, bringing the palms of the hands down towards the floor and inhaling to come back to your start position. Exhale. And inhale. Continuing to synchronize your movements with your breath. Keeping it real gentle, real smooth. Taking one more cycle of movement and breath. And then just allowing all of that to settle into the body. Let's draw the knees towards the chest once again. Give yourself a little hug and a squeeze. Maybe rock a little bit side to side. And you can either continue to rock side to side, or if you're feeling a little bit more splendid, you can cross over your ankles, hold behind your knees, roll yourself up into a little ball and take a few little yogic rolls here. Only yogic rolling if it gives you pleasure and makes you smile. Otherwise, just go back to the previous little posture, rocking side to side like a little boat. If you feel a smile coming on, great, go for it. If you're not feeling like smiling this morning, I totally get that. This lockdown thing is really quite tricky for a lot of people. I would recommend forcing a smile. Because even if the smile is forced, it tricks the body into thinking everything's okay, and the body starts to release some happy endorphins into the bloodstream, improving and lifting your mood. So then eventually you'll come up to a seated place. Started moving down the mat there a little bit. Coming into a seated posture here. Now, this is the point where you could need your cushions. All right, you might need your cushion. So something to sit on. All right, to lift your hips. So then when our hips are lifted so that they're either level with your knees or just a little bit higher, that means the pelvis tilts a little bit, and it makes it easier for us to sit with an upright spine without too much difficulty. So from here we're going to do a little gentle breathing exercise. We're going to be inhaling through the nose, and we're going to be sighing it gently out through the mouth, like this. We're also going to be making tight fists with the hands on the inhale, and on the exhale we're going to soften and loosen the hands and allow the shoulders to drop down away from the ears. So this is how it goes. Join in when you feel you can. Inhaling deeply through the nose, tensing up the hands and the forearms and the shoulders, and exhale with a sigh. And again. Just a couple more times. One last time. So then just pop in your cushions to one side. You're going to need those again in a bit, all right? We're going to come onto all fours, and we're going to loosen the spine, mobilize the spine with a few rounds of cat and cow. So let's make sure that the knees are underneath the hips and the feet are hip distance apart, and that you're connecting the tops of your feet with the floor beneath. Your hands are underneath your shoulders, shoulder distance apart, spreading out your fingers nice and wide to evenly distribute the weight through the whole of the palm. On the inhale, we're going to lift the tailbone, sink the mid-spine and lift the gaze. And on the exhale, drawing the tailbone down, arching the spine, chin to chest. Let your heavy head hang. Inhale, lifting tailbone, sinking mid-spine, lifting the gaze. Exhale back into angry cat, arching your spine, pressing gently into the palms of the hands to get that stretch over the tops of the shoulders. then coming back to centre. From here, we're going to take child's pose. So bring your bum back towards your heels. Bring your forehead to the floor and take your arms down by your sides with your palms facing up towards the sky. Soften your shoulders and your upper arms down towards the floor, softening through the upper back. And then breathing deeply into the back and the side ribs, creating space in between the ribs, space to breathe. We're really looking for that softness through the upper arms and shoulders. So let your shoulders feel heavy and weighty as you rest here in child's pose. Then place your hands either side of your knees and roll up smoothly through the spine. Going to come into downward facing dog next. All right. So coming on to all fours, let's find really good alignment in down dog here. So knees and feet need to be hip distance apart, and you need to have your hands shoulder distance apart, just one hand length in front of your shoulders, spreading out your fingers nice and wide. Tuck those toes, and I always find that it feels really nice just to rock back a little bit on your toes, give your feet a little stretch. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale smoothly and slowly, lifting your hips up towards the heavens, settling in to your version of downward facing dog. So if it's your first down dog of the day, might feel a little bit stiff and cranky. I want you to make sure that you're not locking out your knees. Okay, there's a little bit of softness in the knees, or indeed you can have your knees really bent if you wish. Definitely breathe in here. And then just taking a little look at your inner elbows and rotating through the shoulders so that your inner elbows point a little bit more forwards. This helps to bring a little bit more breadth over the tops of the shoulders, a bit more space in between your shoulder blades. And then have a little look back at your knees. Make sure your knees are the same distance apart as your feet. Don't let your knees knock together. Taking a rest whenever you need to in your child's pose. Breathe in here. And then we'll all lower our knees and bring the bum to the heels. I'm showing a little bit of my back there. Arms down by the sides, forehead to the floor. Breathing deeply into the back and the side ribs once again. You might even just shake out your wrists a little bit if you wish. And then once again, rolling up gently through the spine. Let's roll the shoulders back and down just a couple of times here. Once again, we'll come into downward facing dog. Please remember to rest when you need to. You can rest in child's pose, or if your knees are a little bit troublesome, another good place to rest, which is kind of similar to child's pose but takes some pressure off the knees, is to have your knees and your feet hip distance apart. Bend up your knees and then just lower your arms over the tops of your bent knees and breathe into your back ribs. Let go of the weight of your head so that you get that lovely stretch through the neck. So that's your good alternative to child's pose if you need it or if you fancy it. I'm going to tuck myself in this time so you don't get to see my tummy. Okay, so coming back into downward facing dog, spreading out your fingers nice and wide. Again, let's just find that alignment. Hands shoulder distance apart, a little bit further forward of your shoulders, knees and feet hip distance apart. Tuck those toes, rock back a little on the toes. Rotate your arms through the shoulder joints so that your inner elbows point forwards. Already you'll feel that breadth over the tops of the shoulders and the upper back when you do that. Inhale deeply, exhale, lifting the hips upwards and backwards. Really reach that tailbone upwards towards the sky. Easing your chest back towards your toes. And breathe in here. And if it feels good for you, just gently walking your dog, pressing alternate heels gently and smoothly into the floor. Breathe in here. 3 and 2 and 1. Oh, that feels so good. Knees to the floor. This time we're going to take a wide kneed child's pose. So bring your knees wide. In fact, I'll come the other way around. It might be easier for you to see what's going to happen next. So taking the knees out wide, big toes near to or touching each other, and then walking your hands forwards and bringing the forehead down onto the mat, or if you prefer, you can bring your chin and chest down towards the ground and look up towards your fingertips here, settling in and breathing here. So then we're going to take the back of the right hand and thread it underneath your left armpit away over to the left and bring the right side of your face down onto the mat. Now if this is too strong for your shoulder, then just pause your video, go grab yourself a little cushion, and then you can place the cushion underneath the side of your face, and that will take some of the intensity out of this shoulder stretch. So that's a little modification in case you need it. The rest of us are just going to be breathing here, softening over that shoulder, relaxing the body. And then slowly moving out of that stretch, we'll take that over to the other side, slide in the back of the left hand underneath the right armpit away over to the right. The left side of the face comes down onto your mat. Softening over the shoulder. And coming out of the posture nice and slowly. Please notice that we're moving really, really slowly. We don't want to shock the body into doing anything too quickly. Walking the hands back towards the body, and we're going to find our way onto a cushion or a bolster of some kind, so that we can once again find that upright spine. Now, some people like to sit cross-legged on a cushion. Some of you might prefer to kneel like this. Or if you've got something big and fat to sit on, that can be good. Okay, so that can work. Kneeling with some support underneath your bum can work really, really well. Okay, so we're going to come into some very, some of these shoulder stretches could be quite intense. So we're going to move into them very slowly. Remember that we're working just into the edge of our comfort zone. All right. I don't want you to hurt yourselves. Okay. So let's move kind of sensibly and skillfully here. Finding a really upright spine, super important. And then let's inhale our hands to the sky and exhale, softening the shoulders as we allow the arms to float back down to the floor. We're breathing in and out through the nose wherever possible. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time like this. Really concentrating and focusing on how your shoulders and your neck feel for you. Rest the backs of your hands down onto your thighs, and we'll just take a few little semicircles, bringing the chin over to the shoulder, down towards the chest, then over to the shoulder on the other side. Move really slowly, please. And we're going to start to rotate fully. Notice that I'm going really, really slowly, so that we can really feel any sensations that arise. Maybe there's a place where you might want to linger for a little while if it feels particularly tense. Let's take those rotations in the other direction. Oh. One more time. Remember, less is more. Less is more. With yoga, we turn all that intensity stuff on its head a little bit. Okay, less is more. Inhale your hands to the sky, interlace your fingers and press your palms heavenwards to create space in between your ribs. Breathe in here. And then taking your arms down by your sides and hands behind your back, interlace your fingers again. And this time the backs of your hands are pressing down towards the floor. You're lifting your chest up towards the sky. Breathe in here. Rolling those shoulders right back. And relax. I'm going to show you the next bit from the side. Let's Just pop that out of the way for a second. So again, you can be doing this from kneeling or from seated, cross-legged on some cushions. Taking your arms out in front this time, interlacing your fingers, chin to chest, and then pressing the backs of your hands forwards, rounding the spine and rounding the shoulders, and breathing here. Biceps are in line with your ears. And once again, inhaling, hands to the sky. Breathe. Let's take the hands to the base of the skull and then just pressing your elbows back and looking gently up towards the ceiling. Press those elbows backwards and breathe. And then with this next stretch, I want you to be very careful not to pull the head down. So we'll have the palms interlaced, the hands interlaced, palms just at the base of your skull. Draw your elbows together, keep your spine straight. In fact, I'll show you from the other side to make it easier for you to understand what I'm telling you. Keep your spine straight, draw your elbows together, and then just dip the chin to the chest. The rest of the spine is long and tall. We're not pulling the head down. We're just allowing gravity to do its magic here. And then we're going to just relax and soften. Okay, I'm going to show you the next two stretches from behind. Alright, so I'm going to turn around to show you these ones. Alright, so bear with. Again, you'll want that lovely upright spine. You can be kneeling here, remember, or if that doesn't suit you, you can be sitting up on a cushion like this. It's up to you. Find a comfy place. Pause the video and have a stretch out if you need to. And for this stretch, we're going to take the arms up towards the sky, and then you're going to take the palm of your right hand in between your shoulder blades. You're going to take a hold of your right elbow with your left hand, keeping your torso nice and tall, just taking a little bend over to your left. It's a bit like you're lifting this elbow up and out of the shoulder joint. And release, always release nice and slowly. You want to be taking your time. Then take the other hand up towards the sky, bicep next to your ear, and then place your palm in between your shoulder blades. Take hold of your elbow and then just take a little bend over towards the other side, lifting the elbow up and out of the shoulder joint gently. Breathe in here. And then relax. Shake it out. Hope you're all still there. All right. Okay. And then I'm going to mirror you this time to make it easier for you to see what's going on. So you're going to take your right arm straight down behind you here. And you're going to take your right wrist in your left hand. I'm trying to mirror you, and sometimes I get my right and my left mixed up, as many of my previous yoga students will know. All right, and then from here, you're just gently pulling down, pulling the wrist down, and then keep taking your left ear down towards your left shoulder. You should be getting quite an intense stretch down the right side of your neck here. So I don't want you to come out of this posture until I've showed you how I want you to come out of the posture. It's quite intense. So this is how you are going to come out of the posture. You are going to release the arms first, and then you're going to take your left hand and push your head back to centre. Heads are heavy, all right? We're going to give it a little bit of help. So then, noticing that one side of your body feels really different from the other, just notice the body. You're going to do the same on the other side. So this time, the left arm is straight. Take hold of the left wrist with your right hand and draw the left hand downwards towards your tailbone, and then bring the right ear down towards the right shoulder. Don't worry if it does not move too much. Just want to go to the point where you start to feel that stretch down the left side of the neck. Please be gentle with yourselves. We're persuading the body to open up in its own good time. So this is how you are going to come out of the posture. You're going to do it really slowly. And when you're ready, you are going to release your arms first, and then you're going to take your right hand and gently push your head back to centre, and then relax here. So just taking a few moments here, relaxing and softening. Let's just roll the shoulders a few times, get the arms involved. Feels quite good, doesn't it? Okay. And then we're going to come back to that wide-kneed child's pose. So taking the knees out wide if you can, and bringing the big toes together, walking the hands forwards towards the top of your mat, and bringing your face down towards the floor, chin and chest easing down towards your mat. Now you could stay here if this is enough for you, or if you want a little bit more intensity, you can shuffle your forearms and elbows together, bring your prayer hands together, and then lift your prayer hands up towards the sky, and ease your chin down in between that little gap in between your biceps, and then settle and soften and relax. So while you're relaxing here, I'm going to show you how that looks from the side, in case that's helpful to you. So walking slowly forwards, shuffling the forearms and the elbows together, And then lifting prayer hands to the sky, easing the chin down in between that gap between your biceps. And softening here. Now, if you want this to be a little bit more intense, you just shuffle your elbows a little further forward. Breathe in here. And as you breathe, notice the body subtly moving with the breath. The breath is where the magic happens in yoga. Feel the body expand with each long, smooth inhalation. And a softening and release on the exhalation. Coming slowly out of that posture, walking the hands back towards the body. Coming onto all fours, we're going to take a half happy puppy. So for that, we've got the bum over the top of the knees, hips over the tops of the knees. And all you're doing here is sliding one arm forwards. Slide one of your arms forwards and bring the side of your face down onto the mat. And breathe here. Gently sliding back, and then the same on the other side. Slide the arm forward, side of the face onto the mat. Breathe in here. Sliding the hand back, and then for full happy puppy. Some people call this posture melting heart. I must admit I prefer that. I'm a romantic at heart. Both hands walking forwards to the top of the mat, easing the chin and the chest down towards the floor. Settling in and breathing here. And then on an inhale, sliding chin and chest forwards as close to the ground as you can, to the top of your mat. Now I'm going to need to move back a little bit so as I remain in shot. Okay, but you can rest on your belly, forehead on the backs of the hands. Really soften those shoulders back and away from the ears. And it's always nice here to loosen the tailbone, so bend up your knees, rock your feet from side to side. Take awareness right down into the lower back. Shoulders and upper back are relaxed. And then lower the tops of the feet down towards the floor. We're going to take ourselves into what we call in our classes TV pose. Just resting the elbows on the floor and the chin rests in your hands. And then soften, relax and release down into the lower back. And breathe here. This is where you're going to stay if you have any back issues at all. If you've got a glass back, you're staying here. Or if this is uncomfortable, tight or pinchy, you're going to come back to your resting posture and breathe deeply into the lower back. This resting posture is not a cop-out. If you're breathing deeply, you're doing magical work for your lower back. So you could be here, you could be in TV pose, or if back bending is part of your regular practice, you can join me in what we call a Yoni Cobra. So we're going to take the hands into Yoni Mudra. Yoni Mudra is like this. It's like a diamond shape, all right? And we're going to place our diamond shape directly underneath the sternum here. So then we're lightly engaging the glutes, pressing the pubic bones down into the floor and pressing down into the palms. You may come to here, or if things are feeling good, you might lift a little bit further, keeping the shoulders back, away from the ears. I don't want to see any of this. Well, I can't see you, but you know what's happening, don't you? And then breathe in here. If you have any tight or nasty sensations in your lower back, you are immediately coming out of the posture and resting. Otherwise, you breathe in here. And relax and soften. Once again, the forehead on the backs of the hands. I say forehead because when we've got the forehead on the backs of the hands and you're tucking your chin a little bit towards your chest, you'll find that the back of the neck feels a little longer. Draw those shoulders away from the ears. Take a little shimmy through the hips if that feels nice for you. And breathe deeply. And place your hands underneath the shoulders. We need to counterpose that back bend. And we're going to do that in downward face, in child's pose. Sorry. We're going to come into child's pose, but we're coming into child's pose really, really slowly. Totally in slow motion. The spine is taking an opposite curve, remember. Ease your way in gently. And then breathe into the back waist, deeply and smoothly here. One more big deep breath. Remember, the beauty of this being on video is that if you want to pause the video and rest and breathe for longer, then go ahead. That's really good practice. Let's find our way into our alignment for downward facing dog. Remember, knees hip distance apart, tuck the toes, take the hands one hand length in front of the shoulders, shoulder distance apart, spread out those fingers nice and wide. And then as you exhale, lifting those hips upwards and backwards, we're easing the chest back towards the toes. This time we'll inhale to lift onto the balls of the feet and we'll exhale to press the heels more firmly into the ground. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Just a couple more times. And then you can either walk, step, or hop your feet forward towards your hands so that you find your way into a forward fold here. The feet are still hip distance apart and you're going to bend your knees such that your tummy rests on your thighs, holding onto opposite elbows and then letting go of the weight of your head and your upper body to find a bit of traction for your vertebra, the traction for the spine here. Breathe in here. Maybe just gently nodding the head. And then letting go of your elbows, bend the knees, press down into the soles of the feet. Engage your abdominal muscles as you roll up through the spine, rolling the shoulders back and down. So this is the point where you need to grab your tie or your scarf. I'm going to use my scarf because it's nice and long, all right? We're going to have the feet hip distance apart, coming into a good mountain posture here. So let's make sure that your feet are well grounded. We do that by initially lifting the toes. Let me just do that so you can see a bit better. We're lifting the toes, pressing down into the balls of the feet and the heels of the feet, so that you find a little bit of an instep here and your feet are beautifully active. And then soften the toes, but keep that lovely active sensation in your feet and ankles. Make sure your knees are a little bit soft. You don't want to lock those knees out. Make sure that your pelvis is neutral. So you're neither thrusting your hips forwards, neither are you sticking your bum out behind you. Hips are neutral. We draw ourselves up through the torso, the space in between the ribs. It can feel so good to lift up tall, and then roll the shoulders back and down. Then you've got your tie, and you're going to take a nice wide grip, You want to have your tie or your scarf nice and taut. And then we're going to work with the breath. So on the inhale, lifting up towards the sky, make it nice and wide. And on the exhale, keeping the arms straight if possible, bringing the scarf or tie down to the lower back. Inhale to lift and exhale to lower. Now it may be that at first you need to bend your elbows a little bit. It might be quite difficult at first, so go slowly. But if you're finding that this is quite easy, then you can make your grip on your scarf a little narrower to intensify things a little bit. Don't overdo it though, hey? Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Keeping engagement in the abdominal muscles. So you don't want to be swinging your hips forwards and backwards. Stay with your mountain posture. Breathing. One more time. I like this one. And then pop your scarf to one side, right out of the way. Standing here in our mountain posture and noticing how we feel. We take a very short standing meditation here. So lower your gaze so that you're looking diagonally downwards. Just rocking forwards and backwards really gently. Balls of the feet and the heels. The balls of the feet and the heels. Lowering your gaze. And then coming back to stillness here in the center. And then rocking a little bit side to side. We're really slowing things down now. And then coming back to stillness in the center. Become aware of the soles of your feet in connection with the mat or carpet underneath. Feel the texture of the mat underneath you. Notice sensations in your ankles. Maybe you can notice the temperature of your skin in your lower legs and calves. Aware of your knees. The knees are soft. Aware of the calves and the shins, the backs of the thighs and the fronts of the quads. Aware of hips and lower back, ribs and chest. Noticing the shoulders, allowing the arms to be relaxed and the back of the neck long. And noticing the sensation of the breath as it moves through the body. And opening up your eyes, inhaling your hands up towards the sky, exhaling, folding forward, Swan Dive. Place your palms on the floor. Bend your knees as much as you need to in order for that to happen. And then coming into a halfway lift. So we bend the knees even a little bit more if you need to. Fingertips on the floor in front of your toes. Lifting your gaze, drawing the shoulders back away from the ears. Exhale back into your forward fold. Inhale, roll up through the spine, take the arms out wide. Bring the prayer hands back to the heart. And again, inhale, hands to sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rolling up through the spine, hands to the clouds. Exhale, prayer hands to the heart center. One more time. Inhale. Breathing out. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Bend the knees. Roll up through the spine. Take your prayer hands to your heart. This time we're inhaling the hands to the sky. We're taking the arms behind us and linking up the thumbs behind the back. So linking your thumbs together, spreading out your fingers nice and wide. And then roll the shoulders back and down and begin to press your fingertips down towards the floor, lifting your gaze, breathing here into the chest space. Bring your gaze back to the front and then pushing your bum out behind you, begin to fold forward. Now, keeping your thumbs linked and your fingers spread out wide, you can either stay like this or you can experiment with lifting your strong, straight arms gently up and away from your back. Gently persuading your shoulders to release and soften as you take your arms away from your back. You are persuading the body, almost like you're asking your shoulders permission to continue. If it's too much, come away from the posture a little bit. If things feel good, then really relax and soften into it. If you are unable to breathe here or you are gritting your teeth, I want you to lower your arms.
only staying in the full extension of the posture if it suits your body. Only you will know how your body feels right now. I can't possibly know that or make a decision for you. Breathe in here for 3 and 2 and 1, and then relax those weary arms down by the sides of your feet. Ideally with the backs of your hands either side of your feet, fingertips pointing backwards, and then let go of the weight of your head. And then I'm just going to shuffle forward so as I don't come out of view. And then from here, place your palms on the floor, step back into plank pose. Breathe in here, pressing down into your palms. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knees and find your way into your expression of child's pose. Taking your arms down by your sides will help you to completely relax your upper back and shoulders. Imagine that your upper arms are really heavy and they're sinking down in towards the floor. Resting here like a sack of potatoes. Breathing. Breathing into the back and the side ribs. And then rolling up smoothly through the spine. Remember, your transitions are just as important as your yoga postures themselves. We move in and out of our postures smoothly and mindfully. Mindfully just means noticing all of the sensations that are happening as they arise. So then a couple of lovely little stretches that we can do at the floor. Take your feet out in front of you, hip distance apart, knees are bent. And then you're going to have your hands, fingertips pointing towards your bum, if that's possible for you, behind you here. All right. And then, keeping your spine straight to begin with, this is your start position. Okay. And then on the inhale, you're going to lift your chest up towards the sky and breathe here. Now, if you want this to be a little bit more intense, you shift your hands back away from your bum. All right. And again, we inhale to lift the chest. Now, if your neck is uncomfortable, just look forwards and breathe here. And then relax. Take your legs out in front of you. Give yourself a massive hug because you're worth it. All right. And hold around, you might be able to hold around your shoulder blades, or if you're not flat chested like me, you might want to hold onto your shoulders here, wherever you can find a bit of a grip. Lift up nice and tall through the torso, and then dip your chin to your chest and begin to roll down through the spine, just rolling down, keeping a hold of those shoulders. And then just allowing gravity and the weight of your upper body to do the work here. You will notice if you're breathing deeply that every time you breathe out, your upper body sinks even a little bit further towards your outstretched legs. Let go of any tension at the back of your neck by allowing your head to loll and be heavy. Keep your arms crossed for now and just gently roll up through the spine. Take note of which elbow is on the top because we need to go the other way. So make sure the other elbow is on the top. Lift up tall through the torso, dip chin to chest and begin to roll down from the top of the spine all the way down. And breathe. And relax. And soften. You'll feel the muscles either side of the spine begin to ease away from the center. And then letting go of your shoulders. Let's all roll up through the spine. Just lean back a little bit. Give your legs a little wibble. And then we'll cross the legs. Again, it's a good idea to have a little cushion underneath your bum, or even a big cushion. Just crossing your legs here. We're going to inhale the hands to the sky. We're going to exhale and you'll take one hand behind and the other palm to the outside of the opposite thigh. Take a little twist and breathe here. Feel like you're twisting from your tummy button, okay? We're not just looking over the shoulder here, we're twisting all the way from the tummy button and all the way up to the base of the skull. Spine is long. And then take the back arm up and over, lift your knees a little bit and then place your palms either side of your knees so that you can press your knees a little bit into your palms, dip chin to chest, and as you press your knees into your palms, you'll get a lovely stretch over the tops of the shoulders here. Relax and soften. Release your knees, inhale your hands to the sky. Take that twist over to the other side. One hand behind, the opposite palm to the outside of the knee, and then twisting from the base of the spine, almost like you're trying to get your tummy button to twist around behind, and breathe in here. Take the rear arm up and over, pressing the knees into the palms, chin to chest. And release. I have one more little stretch for those shoulders. Okay, so take your cushions over to one side. I'm going to show you this way on so that you can see what's going on, hopefully, if I don't come too far forward. So I might have to have my feet up in the air, but you would have your feet down flat on the floor for this. Okay, rest your chin in your hands. Okay, TV pose once again. I'm going to mirror you, so let's hope I get my right and left the correct way round. I've been doing it long enough. I don't know why it foxes me so much. So let's take the back of your left hand and thread it underneath your armpit away over to your right. Okay, And then you're going to walk your other hand away over to the left. Okay, palms face down. I think I got that slightly wrong before. Palms face down. And then just rest your chin down on your bicep. Breathe in here. Now, if you're finding that this is really, really intense, then what you can do is grab a little cushion and place it underneath your chest. Okay, let's do the other side like that, and I'll be able to show you what I mean. So if you place your cushion underneath your chest there, come back into your TV pose. This time it's your right hand that you're creeping, it's like the Addams family, creeping it over towards your left, and then the other hand, your left hand, creeping over towards the right. Rest the chin on your bicep, and because you've got that cushion underneath your chest, it should just support you a little bit more if you need it. And breathe here. Quite a strong stretch for those shoulders. Breathe deeply into the upper back and shoulders. Come away from the posture a little if you need to. It's all about those long, smooth breaths. So then coming out of the posture gently. Put your cushion away over to the side. For the next posture, which is a restorative posture, you're going to need either a big fat rolled up bath sheet style towel, the biggest towel you've got, roll it up into a sausage, or if you're lucky to have a bolster like this, then obviously you're going to use that. I'm going to demonstrate with the bolster so you get the idea. Or you can use several cushions lined up on top of each other. Let me see if I can find some more. You can use some cushions lined up like this to make a little shelf, a little bolster. All right, so pause the video, grab as many cushions as you think you'll need. It's good that we're on video actually, because it allows you time to find the equipment that's going to work for you. All right, so I'm going to crack on. All right, so here's my bolster. I'm going to have a little cushion ready there for my head. Oh, this is such a nice posture, so relaxing. You can do the posture without the bolsters, especially if you've got a delicate lower back. You might want to just get rid of the bolsters altogether and just do it flat out on the floor. No problem at all. It'll still be really beneficial for you. If you're using a bolster, make sure that you're not sitting on the bolster is right next to your bum, okay? And then just bend up your knees and start to rest back onto the bolster. Find some cushions for underneath your head so that your head is nicely supported, as many cushions as you need. And then take your arms down by your sides. You can either lengthen your legs out in front, that can feel good, or you can bring the soles of your feet together and rest your knees out to either side. That way you get a little hip opener as well. And breathe here. Now, some people like to support their elbows with a cushion underneath each elbow. That can feel good as well. And you can stay here for as many breaths as you like. The key to this is to really relax your shoulders, your upper arms and your forearms, palms facing up towards the sky. Breathe in here. Closing down your eyes if you can. When you want to come out of the posture, it's really important to come out of the posture safely. So you're going to bend up your knees and you're just going to roll over to one side, a little bit like a seal rolling off a rock. Okay, roll over to one side and then push all your cushions out of the way. Find a blanket. It's time for Shavasana, that moment we've all been waiting for. The most important part of your yoga practice. So please don't be tempted to switch the video off and run off and do all your housework and attend to the kids. This is really important. So find a blanket. Maybe you'll want a little cushion for underneath your head. Make sure you stay nice and warm, particularly around your shoulders. In fact, it's only my shoulders that are chilly. Okay. And find your way into your Shavasana pose. So have your legs a little ways apart, arms a little bit away from your body, palms facing up towards the sky, making any last minute adjustments so that you can feel truly relaxed. Remember, if your knees or your lower back are troublesome, it can really help to have some cushioning underneath your knees. Relaxing here so that you can truly find some stillness in the body and therefore stillness for your mind as well. Surrender the full weight of your body down into the mat underneath you. Notice all the places where the skin on the back of your body meets with the earth beneath. Feel into the body. Notice the aliveness in your body. Aware of places in the body that feel full of energy and vibrancy. Notice the space that you've created in the body, the space in between your ribs, the space in between your hip bones, the space either side of your chest. Softening the shoulders and the upper back, releasing and softening down into the ground. cultivating a sense of unburdening, releasing here. Perhaps imagining that you've been on a really long walk with a heavy rucksack full of equipment, food, big bottles of water. Your rucksack is heavy. It's perhaps rubbing a little bit on your shoulders. And then try to remember what it could feel like to slump down onto the grass, taking off your rucksack, casting it aside, relaxing down into some soft, sweet grass. The warm sun on your body, all your burdens lifted. Releasing and relaxing down into the lap of Mother Earth. And then bringing your awareness to your breath. Allowing the breath to breathe the body. Noticing the sweet and precious gift of each inhalation. And the sense of softness and release as you exhale. And then beginning to invite a deeper breath. Beginning to notice once again the skin on the back of your body where it touches with the ground. Beginning to make some small movements with fingers and toes, perhaps rotating wrists and ankles now. Maybe even shimmying your hips if that feels good. Take a good yawn and a stretch. Just gentle, nothing vigorous at this stage. And then just bend up your knees, roll over onto one side. Staying here for a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, pushing yourself slowly to a comfy seated place. Let's close our practice by inhaling our hands to the sky, drawing in some of that good positive energy that you've created, drawing it down into your heart center, and dipping chin to chest if you wish. I wish for you to feel happy and contented. I wish that you'll be healthy and well and that you'll feel safe. But most of all, I wish that you'll be very much loved. Namaste. I really hope you enjoyed practicing yoga using this video.
It's been a lot of fun. Thank you. Well done.